Rare Wild West photos, unbelievable stories from the Old West. Introduction: a glimpse into the untamed frontier. The Wild West, or American Old West, evokes images of rugged cowboys, dusty saloons, and high-noon duels. But behind the legends lie real stories, and thanks to rare photographs, we can see the faces, towns, and landscapes that define the frontier spirit from 1865 to 1900. This was a time of expansion, lawlessness, hope, and heartbreak. Let's journey through the Old West, guided by rare, authentic photos and the unbelievable stories they preserve. 1. The end of the Civil War and the Western expansion, 1865 to 1870. After the Civil War, the United States turned its eyes westward. The Homestead Act of 1862 promised 160 acres of land to settlers, igniting a wave of migration. Former soldiers, freedmen, and immigrants took to the Oregon Trail, the Santa Fe Trail, and later the railroads. Camera with flash rare photo: a family of homesteaders standing before a sod house in Kansas. Weathered faces, a rifle leaned against the door. Survival was a daily struggle. Unbelievable story: Mary Fields, aka Stagecoach Mary, was a former slave who became a respected mail carrier in Montana. She drank whiskey, carried a revolver and shotgun, and was known to outshoot any man who challenged her. 2. Cowboys and cattle drives, 1870s, 1880s. The cowboy, now a symbol of American freedom, was often a young man. Many were black, Mexican, or Native American. They drove cattle thousands of miles along trails like the Chisholm Trail to railheads in Kansas. Camera with flash rare photo: a group of dusty cowboys resting around a campfire in Texas, their faces hidden in shadow and smoke. Unbelievable story: Bose Eichert, a black cowboy and former slave, rode with famed rancher Charles Goodnight. His tracking skills and bravery saved lives on the trail. Goodnight later had a gravestone erected in Eichert's honor. 3. Gold Rush Towns and Outlaws, 1870s, 1890s. Gold strikes in California, the Black Hills, and the Klondike drew desperate men and women hoping to strike it rich. Boomtowns popped up overnight and often disappeared just as fast. Law was often absent, giving rise to notorious outlaws and gunslingers. Camera with flash rare photo: Deadwood, South Dakota. Muddy streets lined with makeshift buildings, gamblers and miners packed shoulder to shoulder. Unbelievable story: Wild Bill Hickok was shot in the back while playing poker in Deadwood. He held a pair of aces and eights, now known as the dead man's hand. 4. Native resistance and forced relocation. While settlers expanded westward, Native American tribes fought to defend their lands. Wars and broken treaties led to tragic massacres and forced relocations to reservations. Camera with flash rare photo: Chief Joseph of the Nez Perce, solemn in a formal coat, photographed in exile. Unbelievable story: in 1877, Chief Joseph led his people on a 1,170-mile march to escape the U.S. Army. Though ultimately captured, his leadership and humanity earned him respect across the nation. 5. Women of the West. Women played vital but often overlooked roles in the West, as ranchers, sharpshooters, teachers, and entrepreneurs. Camera with flash rare photo: Calamity Jane in buckskin, rifle at her side, in a saloon doorway, a woman unafraid to ride or fight alongside men. Unbelievable story: Josephine Marcus, once an actress in Tombstone, became the lifelong partner of Wyatt Earp. Her story, often hidden in the shadows of his legend, reveals the resilience of women navigating a man's world. 6. The lawmen and the gangs. For every outlaw, there was a lawman in pursuit. The American West gave rise to iconic figures like Wyatt Earp, Bat Masterson, and the Texas Rangers. Camera with flash rare photo: the Dodge City Peace Commission, a group of well-dressed lawmen, pistols at their hips, looking more like gangsters than guardians. Unbelievable story: Bass Reeves, the first black U.S. Marshal west of the Mississippi, made over 3,000 arrests. He often disguised himself as a farmer or a preacher to infiltrate outlaw hideouts. 7. The Railroad and the Death of the Frontier, 1880s, 1900. The completion of the Transcontinental Railroad in 1869 and later routes brought rapid change. Towns grew, the economy expanded, and the once wild frontier was tamed, but not without cost. Camera with flash rare photo. Chinese railroad workers laying tracks in the Sierra Nevadas. Their contribution was vital, though they faced harsh discrimination. Unbelievable story. Over 12,000 Chinese immigrants helped build the Central Pacific Railroad, often blasting through dangerous mountains with nitroglycerin. Their story was largely erased from popular history until recently. 8. The last of the legends. As the 20th century approached, the Wild West faded, but the myths endured. Buffalo Bill's Wild West show romanticized frontier life, touring the U.S. and Europe. Camera with flash rare photo. Annie Oakley posing with a rifle, calm and confident, the first female American superstar. Unbelievable story. Oakley could hit a dime tossed in the air, shoot holes in cards mid-flight, and once shot the ash off a cigarette held by Kaiser Wilhelm II. Her legend lives on in books, films, and memory. Conclusion. Echoes of the West. Though the era of the Wild West ended over a century ago, the people, stories, and rare photos keep the spirit alive. They tell us of resilience, violence, innovation, and hope. The truth is often more unbelievable and more human than the legends we know.